This video is about CELPIP writing task 1, and in today's video I'm going to show you important strategies to push your score to CLB 12. So let's get right into the strategies first. The first strategy here is the deep strategies, okay? The strategy number 1, I call it as an expansion formula. Kindly make a note of it. So most students write like this: the workshop was bad. That's not wrong, but it's weak. If you want to get CLB 12, then your writing should follow a hidden formula. The first thing should be the statement, and then you have to give the explanation, then you have to give the impact. So instead of writing the workshop was bad, you have to say the workshop was disappointing because it lacked practical activities, which made it difficult to apply the concepts in real situations. Now you can understand what happened, right? So here you have explained, you added reason, and you have shown the impact, right? So that's exactly what examiners reward. And my second strategy is bullet point equals to micro paragraph. Students think, oh, 3 bullet points means 3 sentences. No, that's wrong. Each bullet point should feel like a small paragraph, around 2 to 3 sentences, with full development. So you can think like this: if I say this to a real person, would they understand that clearly? If not, then you need more detail, right? So you have to provide more details for each bullet point. And the third strategy is context layering. So if you want to get CLB 12, then just don't jump directly into complaints. You have to first give context. So instead of writing the workshop was not useful, you can say it like, I enrolled in this workshop expecting to improve my presentation skills, so and so. So I'm just giving you an example. Remember, here you're understanding why you joined, what you expected, right? So this will instantly increase your score. And the fourth strategy here is controlled tone, right? Not emotional, not robotic. A lot of students either sound too angry or sound like a machine. So CLB 12 tone is calm, professional, slightly firm. If you're writing like, this was a terrible workshop and I'm very angry. No, not that way. Instead, you can write, I was quite disappointed with the overall experience. Now you can identify the difference, right? And the fifth strategy is flow thinking. Don't write sentence by sentence. Low scorers write like sentence and then they'll stop, then they will think, then they will move to the next sentence. But if you want to get a high score, remember, first you have to give the idea, then you need to expand the idea, then you have to connect, then you can continue. That's why your writing will feel natural. Okay? And the sixth one is smart vocabulary, not fancy. When I'm saying smart, doesn't mean that you need to use all fancy vocabularies. No. So many of you might be thinking, like, if we want to use big words, then you will get high score. No, no, never. So examiners prefer clear, natural, accurate. So instead of utilize, for example, the word utilize, you can just say use. Instead of aforementioned issue, you can just say it as issue. Simple, right? And I'm just going to tell you some of the common mistakes. And now this is very important. So this is how actually you may mess up. Okay. So mistake number 1, missing a bullet point. You may think like, I explained 2 points very well. That should be enough. No, you lose marks immediately. So you have to cover all the 3 bullet points clearly, no exceptions in that. And mistake 2, writing like you're texting to your friend. Never do that. Say, for example, if you're writing like, hey, I came to your workshop and honestly, it was not good. No, that's too informal, right? So always you have to match the tone to situation. Formal means professional language. And the third mistake is very general statements. If you're trying to give general or a more common statements. Say, for example, it was not useful, it was bad. No, because you have to give the details, right? What is not useful, what is not clear. Got it? And fourth mistake is overacting. Sometimes, as I said, like too emotional. For example, if you're telling I'm extremely angry, I'm frustrated and disappointed, no, that sounds immature. So you have to use control language, calm but clear dissatisfaction. Now let's move on to a scenario here. You attended a professional workshop, but it did not meet expectations. So you have to write an email what it was about, problems faced, and what you expect. Okay? So you can think and come up with your response incorporating the strategies that we have discussed so far. Then I will also show my response here. If you want, you can just pause the video and go through this sentence by sentence so that you will have an idea how it worked. Okay. Now I'm just going to break down my response and I'm going to tell you why this will give you a score of CLB 12. Okay. So here from the response, you can see one of the main issues was the lack of practical activities, right? And instead of interactive sessions, most of the time was spent on basic theoretical explanation, which were not particularly useful for participants with prior experience. So here, the statement as well as explanation was given. So here, the idea is not just stated, right? It is developed. So examiner clearly understands what happened, why it was a problem, what effect it had. So this is advanced idea development, not basic writing. And from the entire response, you can see one of the main issues was the lack of practical activities, that paragraph and other paragraphs. So one bullet point, we have given multiple sentences, right? So main idea, supporting details, additional issues. This shows depth plus completeness, not one line answers. And the context layering, that also you can see here. If you see, to provide some context, I enrolled in this workshop expecting to enhance my presentation and negotiation skills, especially as it was advertised as an intensive hands on training session. So, here, before complaining, we are explaining why we have joined, right? And what was expected. So, this creates logical build-up, strong justification, and examiners see this as matured, structured thinking and controlled tone. So, from the entire response, you can see that in the beginning itself, I'm writing to express my concern, so and so. The overall experience did not align with these expectations, and also, like, I would appreciate it if you could consider offering a partial refund or providing access, so and so. So, here, no emotional words like angry, terrible, no. Instead, you can see the tone as very calm, professional, and respectful. So here the tone is perfectly aligned with a formal compliant email. Got it? And also the use of vocabulary, say for example, did not align with these expectations, not particularly useful, poorly organized, did not deliver the value that was promised. So here the vocabulary is clear, professional, and easy to understand, not overly complex or memorized phrases. So this shows language control, not vocabulary showing off. So these are the reasons that you will get CLB 12 for this response. That's all for today's video. Kindly like, share, and subscribe for more self tips. See you in the next video. Bye bye.